Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to our Eastleigh save, and we are flying. Like the Spitfires we are absolutely flying. We're sat second in the league, 21 points. I can't quite believe what's happening. It's kind of crazy. We're just behind QPR and we're just above Reading, who we're playing today. Bit of a derby as well as second versus third, so massive game. We've stuck to what we know with our 4-2-3-1, and it's been working fantastically. Boniek, Marktine and Stepe have been very good in there, along with Conway and Garcia as well. So that is absolutely fantastic. Letting you know a couple of little things that have happened though. Unfortunately, Reece Sutherland is leaving to join Las Palmas. In January. They've met his release clause. I tried to convince him to stay, but it wasn't happening, unfortunately. So he is leaving us in January. So we're going to have to look for another centre half to bring in. So I've been working on that as much as I can. I'm gutted because he's a very good looking little player, certainly, and he's been solid for us so far this season. So hopefully that continues for us at the moment. There's a couple of other things here. Alfie Morris will be leaving us in January. He'll be joining Phoenix in America. A player that we are paying half of his wages still, but that'll only be for a couple of years. But it cuts down on the wage bill and gets him off out of here, as he's not performed as well as we'd hoped. That's for sure. Eight goals in 53 appearances isn't quite the turnaround you'd hope for in a player. Obviously, he's an international, so it's kind of a bit annoying, really. Otherwise, we have got a couple of signings. So those signings are Imanol Mateo. He will be joining us in January as well. He's 17 years old, from Atletico Bilbao, and looks very tidy. He looks like a player that can certainly grow into his role as a centre midfielder. Bit of a playmaker in there, some lovely passing and technique, some vision as well as balance, bravery, composure. So very good there. I mean, he could also play at centre half and striker if we really want him to. I think we'll stick him in that centre midfield role though, as I think he's in there, he'd be perfect. And the reason why we've signed him is because, unfortunately, we have had another transfer, another player leave us. That is Ben Elliott. He has joined Rennes in France. He was sold for £10 million. The board were like, we want him to go for 10 million. And I was like, okay, fair enough. I mean, that's quite a good deal. So he's now left and joined Rennes. Bit of a shame. Made 11 caps for Cameroon with us. But like I say, we have got a replacement lined up, and we've also got a couple of players that can slot in there all right anyway. So I'm very happy with that. With that money as well, we did also sign Emmanuel Radreza as a kind of backup right back. He looks very good. He's going to work very hard. Some good natural fitness in there as well as stamina. Obviously, the teamwork, work rate, determination, bravery, all great stuff there. And some decent heading and tackling. So I think he can develop into something that we could get some good use out of. Hasn't made an appearance for us just yet, as Ramsey's been very good for us and solid. But he's certainly a player that will get some game time coming up. Otherwise, I think we also have had a Stefancic leave us as well in the meantime. He's joined Rijeka back in Croatia. So it was a case that he wanted to go. We weren't going to be able to fit him into the side, so I thought I'd let him go off. Unfortunately, we have lost a little bit of money on him, but I mean, he's been with us for a long time, so a good 5 years. So I think we've helped him develop a bit as well. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. We've been doing very well. Reading are a bit of a tough team to come up against, but we're sat second in the league. We've won a few games, I think we've lost two, maybe. One of those games was against Wolves. So a very good team to lose to, who are in Europe, as I mentioned previously, and Burnley as well. They beat us, but otherwise we've won every other game, and it's been pretty comfortable. Even if it's not been a high scoring game, we've been reasonably comfortable in our performance. But this is kind of where we're at. Stepe is out injured for a little bit, and Sutherland as well has had a bit of a knock. Amol came in and has done brilliantly to cover Sutherland. And Medina's actually stepped up as well. Thomas Hill's had a little bit of a time where he's not performed at his high standards that we used to. So Medina's come in been very good in the midfield. Aiden Feyzoglu as well, our Turkish centre midfielder. He's stepped up into Ben Elliott's role very, very nicely as well, as we'd probably hoped for. So that's great. Obviously, Boniek, Tyne and Conway behind Garcia. Fantastic stuff. Garcia's not had as good a time of recent. Ardal's been very, very good. Our Norwegian that we brought in a couple of seasons ago, who's developed a bit for us. But yeah, otherwise, very, very happy with how things have gone so far. Hopefully we can keep the team together, keep the game moving forward, and we'll continue. Tom Lang's also played a couple of games. He's come off the bench most of the time. I haven't wanted to throw him in just yet because he's 16. I don't want him to be playing too much football. So I might make him available for the under-23s. That might be my other option to do with him. But let's jump into it. If we can get a win today, it gives us a bit of a gap for Reading to have to overcome, and gives us a bit more hope of actually even getting, automatic promotion. We're 10 games in the season and we're still up there. I was thinking, maybe it's just a little blip for other teams, but we're doing okay. We're still fighting. They've had a better start to the game in the first 10 minutes, but I think we've got plenty of time to get back in, get into the game, show what we've got, and hopefully the boys can do that for us. So it's a Reading throw-in our half. McIntyre takes it, but it does fall out to the edge. Ridvan now receiving it. McIntyre again, Metcalf. They're keeping the ball on the edge of the box. We've pushed out quite nicely, which is good. John Jules looking to get a turn in. Rodriguez Castro, who we know has scored against us before and is a decent player. Widowson looking to get a cross in, maybe not quite, but lays it back for a cross to come in. Wow, okay, Mara wins the header to put it back across goal. Okonkwo was nowhere near it, and Rodriguez Cow does pop it away, but we get away with it. It was offside, so we get a bit lucky there. The initial header from Mara was offside. Okonkwo is in no man's land, and it's just a tap-in in the end, but we've got to be alert to that. Obviously, he's managed to win the ball in the air, but Okonkwo's made a bit of a cock-up, to be honest, to allow them to get that ball back across. But it's okay. It's okay. Okonkwo's long ball forward isn't going to find anyone, is it? No, it doesn't. Conway's not going to win that header. As Rodrigo Casso comes forward again, plays it into Ramsey, the brother of the Ramsey that we had in our side. Mara, though, coming forward again, back to Metcalf, who looks again back to Ridvan. They're keeping the ball very nicely on the edge of the box, and we're not quite being able to put enough pressure on him. Widowson's just completely gone away from Conway. The ball comes across. It's defended well initially. Mara with the header back across again. Okonkwo palms it away. Straight to John Jules. Okonkwo, you've had a mare there. It's not, I'll be honest, it's not the strongest of efforts towards goal, the initial one. And then him palming it back out straight to one of the strikers is just atrocious. The ball gets lifted. Mara does well to head it towards goal, but Okonkwo's save. And then he runs towards the ball, but past it, and then has to dive. I know that's probably the animation of the game, but it's a little bit annoying, isn't it? So not a great start to the game. They've been very, very much on top, and we've not really come into it at all so far with 20 minutes gone. And a lot of our boys are looking very, very poor in their performances, which isn't good. It's okay when one or two are, but when there's more than that, it can cause some issues. I'm still aiming for the playoffs. As much as it would be great to get automatic promotion, this season I'm still aiming for the playoffs. If we can get in those playoff spots, that is something that I'd be very happy with. Gives us a first taste of the playoffs. And it could also mean that next season we can aim a bit higher again. But it means we continued improvement. And that's exactly what we want when we see these games and continue playing. Because if we start to drop down the league again and drop right off, that's when it starts to become a problem. As we get to half-time, we have had one shot the entire game. Make that two. We've just had a second shot before half-time. And they've been extremely dominant. So what I'm going to do is completely change the side up. All three subs are going to be made now because that is not good enough. Ortega, you can come on for Mark Tyne, who's been atrocious. Conway, you've not been good at all either. So Avdal will come on for you. And Boniek, you're coming off. And Tom Lang will be coming on for you. So bringing on some of the youngsters to try and win the game, or get us back into the game, I should say, as it is so far not great, and it's worth. We might as well bring them on, see what they can do. It might take them a little bit of time just to get into the game, as it's obviously that's 3 subs we've made, and they're big subs to make. So, but we can do this. Still on the balanced mentality, I think we'll swap that to attacking now. We've got to go at them. We've got to push players forward and try and get the win. 1,208 away fans is a good number, that's for sure, for us to have brought to, well, it's not the Majeski Stadium anymore, is it? I think they've changed it to something else now. I can't seem to grab hold of, oh, it doesn't actually say there. Okay, well, that's just ruined my point completely. Osorio with the free kick, though, for Reading. 66 minutes in on the clock. Mara goes up for it. Magoma heads clear. Ramsey back on it for Reading, who's coming down the right-hand side. Going to look to try and deliver the ball once again, but Lang does very well. The 16-year-old... sketchy pass back to Okonkwo, but he does clear it. But it does lead to Reading coming back at us again. We have had a shot now on target, so that is a positive from the change into attacking. But John Jules is through into Casso. I mean, probably should have put that away, but why on earth was he still onside? What is our fullbacks doing if that's the case, or the centre halves? I don't know who to blame because I haven't really seen it properly, but someone needs to be taking control of that situation and organising the boys better, because it certainly wasn't good. We've been very much dominated in this game, and I don't really know what to do. They're just very, very much on top, with us very limited in what we're doing. I mean, this is the thing. We've got a lot of players who didn't perform in that first half, and it's just left us with so much to do. I mean, 1-0 isn't too bad, but we can't even seem to get any shots on target. We've had one the whole game, and we're normally so much more exciting, I should say. Well, that does put them top of the league, unless we can kind of get a goal here in the dying moment. So Mole with the header off the post, that would have been the perfect moment to score to level things up. But Okonkwo into Magoma, come on, we've got 10 seconds. I can't imagine anything happening, but move that ball, get that ball forward. I mean, why are you going all the way back to Okonkwo? It's a long ball forward. I mean, Ortega's gone up for it, and it's just awful. I'll be honest, Okonkwo's had a mare today. I don't know how he's got a 6.9 rating, because he has been at fault for the goal. He's been at fault for a couple of mistakes that could have led to goals, and that was an awful goal kick. I mean, it was offside. I mean, I guess he saved that, but it looked like it was going out anyway. Oh dear, Okonkwo, come on, mate. Up your game. Up your game to allow us to actually win a game. That'd be good. Magoma's long ball forward to Lang. It does win the header, but unfortunately we weren't able to get onto it. And it does end 1-0. I mean, I'm a bit disappointed that I've shown you a game where we've lost 1-0 and it's been pretty naff, to be honest. It's not been a great game, has it? Yeah, it's bit disappointing, really. Looking at the schedule, as I said, we were knocked out on penalties by Crystal Palace after the 2-0 win against Fulham. A 5-2 loss to Wolves in the league, where we started to turn things around. Unfortunately, they did jump back on top. We beat West Ham and Portsmouth comfortably, lost to Millwall, which again was a bit of a weird one, really. I don't really know what happened there. Cardiff and Hull we beat. Burnley we lost to. Brentford we beat. Huddersfield we beat. And then obviously today was Reading. We have got Preston and Charlton up next, who are two of the teams lower down in the league. So hopefully we can bounce back there as we go into games against Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest, Peterborough, Barnsley. I mean, we have played a lot of the top end of the league teams, like the best teams in the league. So I think if we can react to that as well and continue a bit of form, because you can see as things come up, the only real big names are Bournemouth and QPR, who are fighting for promotion, and maybe Blackburn as well. Otherwise, they're all teams that are kind of 10th, 9th, 10th and below. And then it's not until January we take on Huddersfield again, along with Brentford, and then we've got the FA Cup as well. So it'll be tough, but I'm still very, very positive about how we performed so far, and that should hopefully take us into the next few games very, very nicely. But we will leave it there. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I will make sure to see you in the next one.